Get ready for the inside story, the chapter they tried to keep quiet. For years, whispers and speculation have swirled, but now the courtroom drama has unfolded, revealing a split that sent shockwaves through the Brown family and their dedicated fanbase. We're talking about the separation of Christine and Kody Brown, a parting of ways after nearly 3 decades within their unique plural marriage. Remember back in November 2021? Christine's announcement that she was leaving Kody, her spiritual husband and the head of the Sister Wives, resonated deeply with viewers who had witnessed the subtle fractures forming over the years. Christine, Kody's third wife, had always been a vibrant presence, a devoted mother within their shared faith and lifestyle. Yet, the cameras captured a gradual shift, Christine's growing unease as she voiced feelings of being overlooked and unsupported, especially concerning her children and her own choices. Kody himself confessed on air that his love for Christine had faded, even questioning its past existence. A pivotal moment? When Christine shared Kody's declaration that intimacy was off the table, a breaking point for her. In her own words, she couldn't remain where she felt unloved. But Christine's departure wasn't solely about a fractured romance. It was about forging a new path for herself and her youngest child, Truly. Leaving Flagstaff, Arizona, the family's 2018 relocation spot, Christine bravely moved to Utah, seeking the embrace of her older children and extended family. This move, with 11-year-old Truly by her side, was a powerful declaration of independence. So, as the legal dust settles, many are seeing this not just as a separation, but as Christine reclaiming her narrative, a significant turning point in the ongoing saga of the Sister Wives. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the fallout, the story they never intended to be told. In her new Utah surroundings, Christine found a supportive embrace, with her daughter Aspen and son-in-law Mitch living close by, fulfilling her long-held dream of being near her children and grandchildren. Back in Arizona, Kody remained with Robin, his only legal wife since his 2014 divorce from Mary to adopt Robin's children. The dynamic between Kody and Robin had often been a source of friction, with Christine and the other wives feeling an imbalance in his attention. As Christine blossomed in her Utah independence, Kody's world in Flagstaff appeared to shrink. While Kody publicly acknowledged the split with a statement of sadness and respect for Christine's decision, Christine expressed gratitude for their shared past while firmly looking ahead. Sister Wives fans witnessed this evolution both on screen and across social media, as Christine became more open, happier, and shared her new life in Utah, her adventures with Truly, and her growing sense of inner peace. Christine's departure was more than just a personal choice. It marked a significant shift in the Sister Wives dynamic. She was the first to not only leave but to challenge the family structure from within, a powerful statement about self-respect and personal growth that transcended the complexities of plural marriage. Her move highlighted the potential emotional toll of such a lifestyle when individual needs are unmet, disrupting the show's long-held narrative of a complex yet functional plural family. Settled in Utah, Christine wasted no time in building her next chapter, finding success with her LuLaRoe business, cultivating a strong social media presence, and becoming a voice for women's empowerment and personal boundaries. Embracing single motherhood, she celebrated milestones with Truly and reconnected with her older children, Michael, Peyton, and Isabel. Christine's focus remained steadfast. A better life for herself and her children, her exit a deliberate act born from years of quiet yearning. While Christine thrived in her newfound freedom, the Brown family in Arizona presented a stark contrast, the once unified plural household now visibly fractured, the departure of one wife casting a shadow over the future of their unique family structure. But Christine, at this juncture, was firmly focused forward, having left behind a life that no longer nurtured her spirit. In taking that courageous step towards a life of her own choosing, Christine unknowingly embarked on a journey that would lead to even more significant battles and ultimately resounding victories, including the impactful child support ruling that would soon follow. The lines were about to be drawn, not just emotionally, but legally. September 16, 2024, marked Christine's next decisive action, one that unfolded within the walls of a Utah courtroom rather than on camera. Nearly 3 years after her separation from Kody, Christine initiated a formal lawsuit, propelling their unique separation into the legal arena and demanding a reckoning concerning their shared child, Truly Grace Brown. This legal move signaled a dramatic shift from Christine's previously open yet personally focused public demeanor. While she had shared her personal growth and new life with transparency, this filing indicated her resolve to no longer leave crucial matters unresolved behind closed doors. Her aim was clear: to establish structure, secure protection, and ensure legal recognition, particularly for Truly. According to the court documents filed in Utah, Christine's petition encompassed 3 vital components: the establishment of Kody's paternity of Truly, the granting of full physical and legal custody of Truly to Christine, and a formal request for child support from Kody. Accompanying these filings was a request for a domestic relations injunction, a court order designed to prevent either party from engaging in specific behaviors during the legal proceedings, including restrictions on harassment, financial retaliation, or either parent taking Truly out of state without mutual consent. These were not merely symbolic gestures. Each filing addressed a tangible legal void created by the unconventional nature of Christine and Kody's relationship. Given their lack of a legal marriage and Kody's failure to formally establish legal paternity of Truly through the court system, Christine's lawsuit became essential to ensure Truly's rights and Christine's rights as her primary caregiver were legally recognized and protected under Utah law. A particularly noteworthy detail within the filing was the absence of Kody Brown's name on Truly's birth certificate. This omission, while perhaps surprising for a biological father who had publicly acknowledged his child, was reportedly a conscious decision made years prior. At the time of Truly's birth in 2010, the Brown family navigated a complex legal landscape due to the criminalization of polygamy in Utah. To potentially mitigate legal scrutiny, Christine reportedly omitted Kody's name from the birth certificate, a decision that would later add a layer of complexity to their legal separation. This lack of legal recognition meant that, from the state's perspective, Kody held no legally established parental rights concerning Truly. He lacked the legal authority to make decisions regarding her medical care, education, or travel, and possessed no legally enforceable visitation rights. Conversely, Christine lacked a formal legal avenue to seek financial support for Truly unless she petitioned the court to retroactively establish paternity, which is precisely the action she undertook. The paternity filing served as a formal request for the court to legally acknowledge Kody as Truly's father, a fact long assumed by the public but never officially codified in the eyes of the law. Once paternity was legally established, the court would then have the authority to make legally binding decisions regarding custody and support. Christine's petition specifically requested full legal and physical custody, signifying that she would be the sole decision-maker regarding Truly's upbringing and that Truly would primarily reside with her, a continuation of the arrangement that had been in place since Christine's move to Utah. Indeed, Truly had established her life in Utah, living solely with Christine, attending school, and growing independently of Kody's Arizona household. Christine's legal filing aimed to formalize this existing reality into a binding custody order. Beyond custody, Christine also sought a court order for child support payments from Kody. While the specific amount requested remained confidential, Utah law provides standardized calculations based on income and the percentage of custody. Given Christine's request for full custody, the establishment of Kody's paternity would likely result in him being ordered to contribute significantly to Truly's expenses, encompassing health insurance, education, and general living costs. The domestic relations injunction served as a crucial protective measure, preventing either party from disrupting Truly's schooling, interfering with each other's finances, or relocating Truly without mutual consent or a court order. It also included a prohibition against harassment or intimidation, offering Christine additional legal security as the case progressed. While neither Christine nor Kody issued immediate public statements following the filing, the timing and structure of the lawsuit conveyed a clear message. Christine was no longer waiting for cooperation. She sought legally enforceable rights and obligations, demanding the court's recognition of the established reality that Truly was, and had long been, primarily under her care. The matter had transcended personal family dynamics. It had become a legal issue. The informal agreements and emotional negotiations of their past had reached their limit. Christine had drawn a firm legal boundary right through the courtroom. This lawsuit would set the stage for all subsequent developments, from custody hearings and financial disputes to public revelations about Kody's role as a father. But in that moment, it was fundamentally about seeking justice, a mother asserting her legal rights, and a child finally being brought under the full protection of the law. Then came the courtroom confrontations. On December 1, 2024, Christine and Kody Brown faced each other once more, this time mediated by a computer screen. Their long-simmering family tensions had officially entered the legal arena. This hearing, conducted via web conference, marked a critical procedural step in what had evolved into a complex and high-stakes legal battle. Although the hearing itself remained private, Utah court records confirmed significant developments. The court officially designated the case as a Track 3 case, a legal classification reserved for substantial custody disputes. This designation is not made lightly. In Utah, Track 3 cases signify high levels of conflict, often characterized by emotional strain, contested parenting rights, and at times, allegations of manipulation or alienation. It signaled to the court that this was far from a routine custody petition, also implying stricter oversight and potentially longer resolution timelines. The court's anticipation of conflict meant every decision would undergo meticulous scrutiny. Judges, evaluators, and mediators assigned to Track 3 disputes typically possess specialized training in high-conflict family law, and the legal process itself becomes more rigorous, sometimes involving parenting coordinators or evaluations by child psychologists. This procedural classification, in itself, spoke volumes. Despite the public portrayal of Christine's independence and Kody's continued presence in Arizona, the underlying custody dispute had not been resolved privately or amicably. Both parties had secured legal representation, both were prepared to argue their positions, and both, according to court documents, held fundamental disagreements regarding the future of their shared child. At the December hearing, the judge refrained from issuing any final rulings, as the purpose of this initial conference was case management, establishing timelines, setting expectations, and mandating the next step, mediation. While mediation is standard practice in Utah family court, it's often mandatory and more involved in Track 3 cases. The judge scheduled Christine and Kody for a formal mediation session on May 21, 2025, nearly 6 months after the hearing. This timeline reflected the anticipated complexity of the dispute, allowing both parties time to gather evidence, submit affidavits, and prepare to discuss custody, visitation, and communication within a structured and supervised environment. Unlike litigation, mediation aims to facilitate compromise, with a neutral third-party mediator guiding the parents toward identifying common ground and developing a mutually agreeable parenting plan. However, in high-conflict cases such as this, mediation sessions often reach an impasse. The Browns' extensive and public history of emotional strain, mistrust, and strained communication suggested that finding common ground would be far from easy. Despite the court's preference for resolution through mediation, viewing a trial as a last resort, the path to compromise remained uncertain. A successful mediation would spare both Christine and Kody the emotional and financial burdens of a full custody trial, and potentially establish a workable co-parenting arrangement. However, whether either party was inclined to compromise was an open question. By this point, Christine had been the sole caregiver for Truly in Utah for several years, while Kody remained in Arizona. Christine's pursuit of sole custody, as indicated in her earlier filings, suggested she might use mediation to solidify the existing status quo. Kody's stance, not publicly detailed, would likely become clear during the May session, revealing his willingness or refusal to engage in shared parenting. While the December hearing lacked dramatic revelations, it marked a significant escalation, pulling the private decisions following Christine's departure into the legal system, now under judicial oversight. Observers of the Sister Wives saga noted the irony. The once patriarchal decision-maker, Kody, now faced a balanced power dynamic in a Utah courtroom. Christine had taken formal steps to level the legal playing field, with the state now watching. Crucially, the December hearing placed Truly squarely at the center of the proceedings. What began as a family's private drama had become a matter of custody classifications, court orders, and mediation deadlines. Every subsequent move would impact not only Christine and Kody, but also Truly's future stability, legal protections, and emotional well-being. As 2025 approached, both parties were under pressure, with the May 21st mediation deadline looming, a date to either resolve their dispute or prepare for a full custody trial that could further expose their fractured relationship to legal scrutiny. The confrontation had moved beyond hurt feelings and emotional distance, now a matter of legal standing, child custody classifications, and court-mandated steps. Whether through resolution or escalation, the battle was far from over. It was merely entering its next phase. Then came Christine's legal victory. After months of legal maneuvering and emotional uncertainty, May 2025 witnessed Christine Brown's triumph and Kody Brown's defeat in a significant child support ruling. Christine secured full custody of their youngest daughter, Truly Grace Brown, along with a court-ordered child support agreement from Kody. For Christine, this marked the legal culmination of a private battle waged for years. For Kody, it was a financial and reputational blow. Court records and media coverage confirmed that the custody arrangement formally granted Christine primary physical and legal custody of Truly, affirming her role in making all major decisions regarding Truly's schooling, medical care, and living situation, responsibilities she had effectively undertaken alone since moving to Utah in 2021. The significance of the ruling was amplified by the accompanying child